What's good with y'all, man? It's Max49. I'm back at it again with another tutorial. Class is now in session. Today is the first episode of Drum Theory. Now you're probably like, what's Drum Theory? Drum Theory is where I'll be showcasing industry producers' drum sounds, how they place them, you know, what goes through their mind when they're placing down the drums and doing the drums. Today is Section 8 and Chichi, and no, I won't be doing triplet hi-hats. I'll be doing like actual beats that they be playing in their vlogs and like something that you would hear in their vlogs. So I'll be showcasing 3 demonstrations and breaking down all the drums that I be using, the drums that they be using and where to place them, and I'll even go into depths of how they mix them as well. Let me know if y'all want this to be like a little mini series, maybe like Wheezy or Southside next or Wonder Girl or whatever. So let me know in the comments. By the way, I just started streaming on Twitch, link in description, and also I'll be using my drum RECOLLECTION, best drum kit out right now, so go get those. Follow my Twitch. Let's get straight into Drum Theory. Chichi kind of feel. Let me break these down. Alright, so first what you want to do is start off with the hi-hats. Now the hi-hat gives it the most bounce because I leave spaces in between it, and that's exactly what Section 8 and Chichi does as well. If you listen to the beats, they're so bouncy because they leave space for other drums to come in and hit. So you know, the hi-hat really gives it the most bounce in my opinion. It's the same pattern, and then at the end I just turn it to 1/3 beat. You'll see why later when I get to the 808. Section 8 and Chichi doesn't go crazy on their hi-hats. Actually, they don't go crazy on their drums in terms of putting things all over the place. Something I learned they do is, like I said, the spaces in between the hi-hats to give it more bounce, and some of these rolls right here. So those are key when it comes to hi-hats. The mixing on these don't involve too much. Just take the low end down just in case you have any low end in your hi-hat, and put the high end up just a little bit so it gives it a more crisp feeling. Next is the 808. Like I said, these patterns are not too complicated. These are just Section 8 and Chichi's drum placements, and this is how they get the best bounce. So as you guys see, pretty simple pattern, a few rolls here and there. Just add like rolls at the end. Of course, legendary 1/3 beat roll. Now, I don't know, I think Chichi does that the most, but hey man, this is a video on both of them. And especially doing the 1/3 beat with the hi-hat. That sound is crazy. Like I said, 808 placement is pretty simple, nothing too crazy going on here. Not too much mixing for this entire beat, man. Just the 808 has a little bit of high end up on it. Alright, next it's time for the claps and the snare. So the clap, nothing crazy, your simple 8-bar pattern. Now the snares is what I noticed that like gives Section 8 and Chichi a really unique sound, because their snare placement is like different. So take this for example. Something I noticed Section 8 and Chichi does is placement like right here. So this pattern right here like gives it more bounce. I just know it does. You wouldn't expect a snare there, and plus the low hat right there too, layered on top of the snare, just sounds crazy. I told you about them 808 rolls and the hi-hat rolls at the end of the bar. I also added the snare roll too, and then add some low snares down here. Along with the 1/3 hi-hats and the 1/3 808, you also got these snare rolls that just bring in the beat like crazy unique, crazy nice. So the moral of the snare is have some different placement to it, and don't just keep doing like the regular like generic pattern. Like add placement anywhere you want to, because like I said, you have space for your drums. No mixing on either the clap or the snare, by the way. Everything else is low-key self-explanatory, like the open hat. I guess you could say there's some different placement right there. Then one thing I noticed they do is add another snare. So the hi-hat and the snares all come together like this. What is a Section 8 and Chichi beat without this Vox? Iconic. The whole beat together sounds like this. You know, those are just, you know, kind of a step into, you know, testing the waters out. Those drums right here, these drums, No, it's not. It's about to get even crazier with these next two beats I'm finna demonstrate. By the way, that loop I did was with St. Keys. All right, you could already tell by the arrangement I did kind of go crazy on this beat. Let's get straight into the drums. Alright, so this beat is at 105 BPM. I think that last beat was like 150 something. Now I'm going to get into like the slower side of what Section 8 and Chichi does with their drums. First, starting off with the hi-hat. Alright, one thing I can't explain too clearly about the hi-hats is when Section 8 and Chichi does something in the low hundreds, like the BPM, they have sort of this like, it's not the generic 1/3 step, it's like a 1/4 kind of bounce. Usually people would do the 1/3 step, but I figured out how to do like 1/4 bounce. I don't know what to call it. Like I said, we got them spaces in there, we got some crazy rolls to fill in, and then we have like this velocity roll right here. That gives us some crazy bounce right there. That's the same pattern over and over again. The mix on this hi-hat just took the low end down a lot and also took the high end down just a little bit. It was a little bit too crisp. Now for the 808. With these slow type of BPM beats, there's hardly any space for the 808. Like the 808 just hits like hard every like second. So an 808 at least like every few seconds, and then it goes down to add some more uniqueness, and then at the end of the bar it goes up. And then for the second half, you have a little bit of space here just to like kind of trick the listener into thinking like it's gonna be like the same pattern, but nah, it's like that space right there. And then at the very end, hits him with the high-pitched 8. And just to change up the bounce a little bit, turned it to 1/3 beat. The 808 got nothing on it because I kind of like switched between merging my 808s 100% and just keeping it like regular. But I heard when you merge it 100%, it makes it sound different in the car speakers. It sounds harder. I just do whatever. You can merge it or not, it doesn't really matter. All right, next is the clap and snare. Next, we got the second snare. I'm gonna play this with the clap and the hi-hat. Alright, so basically this second snare is just to add a bunch of rolls in the middle. The first snare isn't playing, this just comes in. Also a bunch of velocity changes. And then we have a third snare. It's called the drop snare from my Essentials drum kit volume 2. It's like a snare with bubbles, but I just added that for like more bounce and like kind of like a perk rhythm to it. Almost finished with the drums. We have the open hat. We have a second open hat. We just got the perks in the rim. All of these drums are for a slow Section 8 Chichi type of bounce. All these drums combined along with the sample and all the mixing that I showed you guys, which isn't even like too much, like pretty parametric EQ and literally just leveling. All my drums come mixed, so if you got the drum recollection, you don't even need to mix like that. All of these form together a bouncy Section 8 Chichi type of drum bounce, and this is something that I would low-key hear them make in the studio. Everything fits, everything comes in place. This is one of my favorite beats of 2021, man. Last year I was going crazy. I'm gonna pull up that last beat and give y'all a demonstration of kind of a slow slash fast type Chichi X Section 8 type of drum bounce. All right, man, we got this last beat. Let's get straight into it. Like I said, this is kind of a slow slash fast pacing. It's somewhere in the middle.
This motherfucker crazy.
different type of balance for this one. So first, the hi-hats, man. Look at this. So I lied in the first beat. I said that Section 8 and Chichi doesn't really go too crazy on the hi-hats. I had to like rewatch some of the vlogs just for a refresher, and they do actually. So this is like 1/3 step hi-hat bounce. It's like not the typical triplet hi-hats, but it has like a bunch of rolls in it. But like I said, all these rolls have like velocity changes. As you see, like the low hats, a roll here, then it goes down to a low hat, and of course that space. Pause. Pause. Space right there. You know what I'm saying? It still has that bounce. All the beats that I deconstructed has all those hi-hat pauses. And these little kind of offbeat rolls, I don't know what to call these, man. Like, these are rolls, but like they're kind of like offbeat, but they're just like alternative rolls. I don't know. Add some of those, man. They really add some spice to your mixes. Moral of the hi-hats, just go crazy on these type of beats. Like once you hear a sample that you want to go crazy on, definitely don't do too much and have everything in its place. Next, I'm gonna play the snares. Hey, disclaimer guys, I did not use my drum recollection for this beat. This is an old beat. That is an 8-bar snare that plays throughout the whole thing, and so I added another one. Best snare ever. Then for the first part of the bar, it just stays empty. Good old snare placement right there, and then at the end, then you hear this roll come in. That roll just comes in and it stays consistent throughout the whole beat. All right, next we got the 808, and this is pretty self-explanatory. On top of that, we got the second 808. So with this first 808, you guys see I added like some of these false notes where I just put the velocity down because it leaves room for the second 808, which is the spins that you hear. One thing in Section 8 Chichi does, bro, is add 2 808s, and it's either at the end or it's either the middle of the beat. One tip that I can give you guys is you casually got your 808s, but you want to add a second one. If you want to add a second one, for them to not clash, you have to go to the first one, place it wherever you want to, just make sure you're not placing it on top of the second 808, and turn the velocity all the way down. It's going to cut the first 808, so it leaves room for the second. Adding 2 808s is crazy for balance, especially when you have like a spins and zay. You can definitely hear the difference when the beat drops. Everything else self-explanatory. We got the open hat, sizzle perk, tambourine. Let's play this beat.
This motherfucker crazy.
Hey man, let me know what you guys thought of this video. Something kind of different. I messed up a lot, but Keanu edited it out for me. Thank you, bro. Leave a like, comment, and let me know what you guys want to see next. If you guys want me to continue this series, a sample tutorial is going to be next. So I'm going to try to upload these like every other week. If y'all enjoyed this video, as always, leave a like, subscribe, share this. Subscribe to my Twitch. Go follow it. All my socials down below in kits, man. Moral of the whole drum type of thingy, man. Just don't overcomplicate it. Go crazy on your drums and don't really worry about what other people have to say. Just make sure they're properly mixed, everything's leveled out, and you leave space for other sounds. That's basically what good drums are. Just have different drum placement. Try to like place your drums a little offbeat, put some swing on them, anything. I've talked to a lot of people that have like trouble with their drums, or they say they sound the same. Hey, if you want to get unique, then you better start doing something out of the comfort zone. Start experimenting. So once again, thank y'all for tuning in. Peace.